I want you to think about how all this makes you more significant, not less. A body isn't just a single part blown up into something huge. It's all the different but smaller parts arranged and functioning together. I'm going to be quick with this message. There are three things I want to pull out of this passage. One is, I want you to understand that you are important. You are significant. Because God has given you something to do. God has given you a part to play in this body that nobody can play but you. And so, there may be moments where you feel insignificant. There may be moments where you feel like the list of your problems is greater than your ability to deal with those problems. There may be moments where you feel like, for whatever reason, you've missed your opportunity. You've missed your moment. But I'm here to tell you that if you are here, and I see all of you here, and you're breathing here, it's because God has given you something to do, a part to play in this body. Now, here's the thing, right? The organs of the body are organic. You don't have to teach your eyes to see, your eyes know to see. Right? You don't have to teach your ears to hear, your ears know to hear. You don't have to teach your tongue to taste, your tongue knows to taste. Those things they happen organically. In this body, we've got to do some figuring out of what our parts are. So this is part of the reason why we're doing these tests. It's part of the reason why we're spending time and conversation around this, because we have to figure out the part that we play. But I guarantee you, you have a part. Here's the second thing. Part of understanding your part also means understanding what parts you don't play. So you all may know I'm a Tom Brady fan, right? Tom Brady went to the University of Michigan. I'm a huge Michigan fan. I bleed blue. I sing the Michigan fight song. I almost boycotted this basketball tournament because Michigan didn't get in it. And so when Tom Brady came out of Michigan and went to New England and Drew Bledsoe got hurt, I was all about the Patriots. I never cared about the Patriots the day before. And when Tom Brady comes, I'll never root for the Patriots again. But as long as number 12 is wearing the Patriots, I'm rooting for the Patriots, right? And so I remember the last Super Bowl Tom was in before this one. And I was at the edge of my seat. I don't even think I was around people because he had lost the Super Bowl before against the Giants, and I was irritable after that. So I didn't want to be around anybody just in case I got mad. So he was out there, and he throws the pass to Wes Welker, and he drops the pass, and the Giants end up winning the Super Bowl. And Tom Brady's wife is out in the lobby crying after the game. And I'm with her. I'm feeling her pain. And she's screaming at the other players and saying, Tom can't do everything. He can't throw the ball and catch the ball too. And they were talking about, whether her wife was, whether she was wrong for yelling at people. And I was like, no, she should be, that's right. Because that Tom can't. He was throwing the ball, the man's got to catch it. To pay him $12 million to catch the ball, right? You can't do everything. You have a part to play. And part of the danger of the time we are in is we have so many options in front of us. And there are so many things in the world that tell us that we can do it all. And if you don't do it all, there's something wrong with you. And so if you're not rich and wealthy and beautiful and smart and everybody loves you and have all kinds of friends and everybody's calling your name, there's something wrong or deficient with you. But we can't do it all. And especially for our young people, for our children, it's important that we help them to understand. I think the greatest challenge I had growing up was there were so many options, and my parents wanted me to do everything. So I played basketball, I led Bible study, I was in the gospel choir, I was an actor, I was running so much, and then I got yelled at if my grades weren't, if I brought home a C, I got in trouble. One C, it was World War III in my house. And we didn't talk about narrowing focus. Now, the last time I checked, there were only 24 hours in a day. That hasn't changed, has it? The last time I checked, there were only 7 days in a week. And the last time I checked, there were only 52 weeks in a year, right? We all have the same amount of time. It is limited. It is finite. We don't know how long of that time we have on this earth. So we can't do everything. And part of the Christian life is learning how to narrow and focus what we do. Figuring out what's most important. You realize not even Jesus did everything. Jesus had somebody who was in charge of keeping the money because he couldn't do it all. Jesus had disciples go out and do things for him because he couldn't do it all. Even Jesus' ministry didn't last forever. It only was 3 years. We have a part to play. So the first thing is, you have something to do. God has given you something to do. The second part is, you can't do it all. And so here's the third part. Is that our greatness isn't wrapped up in any single person's ability, but it's wrapped up in our collective, in how we work together. So, I'm convinced, and I know basketball fans will think I'm crazy on this. I was talking to my cousin about this. I'm convinced that that Kobe Bryant is the best athlete to ever play basketball. He is. He's taller than Jordan. He's stronger than Jordan. He's a better shooter than Jordan. He's just the best athlete to ever play the game. The difference was, with all of his talent, he couldn't figure out how to bring the team together. And that's one thing Jordan figured out how to do relatively early. Now, he had Phil Jackson in his ear the whole time when he listened to Phil, helping him do that. Anybody watch the Kentucky game last night? That point guard from Notre Dame gave Kentucky the blues all night. And he was that close to winning the game. Except with 6 seconds left, Kentucky's up by 2. He dribbles down the court, goes to the corner. He's got 3 Kentucky players on him. 2 of them are over 7 feet tall. And he shoots the shot. And because he's got 3 guys on him, that means there are at least 2 guys on the court that are wide open. But he's thinking, I'm the man of this team. I've been leading this all night. I've got to win this game. And I was telling the brothers outside, he needed to have a real Michael Jordan moment. When Michael Jordan found Steve Kerr to hit the shot to win the game, there's some times when you can't do it all. The greatness of the team is in how the team works together. It's not in any one person. I think I'm a pretty good preacher. And on my good days, I think I can be great. But this church isn't going to be what God needs or wants it to be because I'm a great preacher. I tell everybody who will listen to me, we have the best worship leader in the city of Cincinnati. One of the best I've ever worked with in the country. But this church isn't going to be what God wants it to be because Lenny Hunt's a great worship leader. It's only great when every person comes together and brings the gifts that God has given them to help lead and grow. And so here's the question. This is the question we've been talking through with Bible study. This is the question I want you to talk about in your groups as we go into our response period. Number one is, what part am I playing in this body? What part am I playing? Is God calling me to play a stronger part? Is God calling me to do more? Am I bringing my gifts to the table? Is God calling me to do less? Am I doing things that somebody else can be doing? That somebody else needs to be doing? So I want you to think about 7 to 10 minutes in your group and think through that. What am I doing? What am I bringing to the body? Is God calling me to do more? Maybe God's calling me to do less. Just take a few minutes and talk about that. And then we'll come back together for the closing lesson.